All right, welcome into another special edition of the Big O Show with Orestes Destrade, former Rays broadcaster, Major League Baseball superstar, Japanese superstar, Emmy Award winner, and now we're going to talk about the
that
new
MLB
owner.
superstar, but that was okay. And
I'm the host of this dag.
Yeah, you
co-host,
can say whatever
sorry.
you want, man. I guess in the Fan Sports Fan Stream channel, we can do whatever we want.
That's right. How are you, partner?
I'm good, man. Great weekend of football, baseball. Murphy Auto Group also had a great coming out party over at the Genesis of Tampa, and in fact, I'm wearing one of the proud.
That is a sweet hat, by the way.
It is a sweet hat. Great Bull Rescue. If you don't know about them, go on to Great Bull Rescue Foundation and the great things they do, not just here in the Tampa Bay area, but worldwide, and saving people lives. So I had a chock full of watching sports and watching a lot of fun people come out to Genesis of Tampa and celebrating that grand opening. So, but
all the USF players were out there, were they not?
Yeah, we did have.
Yeah.
We had
Nico Clamateka.
Yeah, we had the kid Nimrod, Chaz Nimrod.
Yeah.
All fine young men. No doubt. It was a fun weekend. Tampa Bay Chamber was there on Saturday, and then on Friday. The kids were there on Saturday, and then Sunday. They gave a big check to the Gray Bull. So it was a great weekend.
All right. Well, we are here to talk about the new Rays owners who we met today. Big O.
I mean, they've been in the news now for months,
Yes.
not weeks, months. And today was the really big coming out party for Patrick Zalewski, obviously Bill Cosgrove, and also Ken Babby, who was very, very. I was very impressed with all three of them. One of the things right off the bat and the keys that stood out for me was the aura that these three men came and kind of exuded out of positivity, and very intelligent and very concise in relaying their message. And we're going to talk about the keys to that message. And of course, it's not this overall change. Hey, we're winning the World Series. Hey, the stadium's, going to next year, 26, we're going to open up a new stadium. Hey, we're signing, everybody and their mother. You can't, you got to crawl before you walk. But the messages were very positive, very realistic, and very informational. I thought so. Yeah,
I did too. I was at the press conference, and it was very well done, very well done, and very professional. I thought they hit all the right notes, and they gave us a lot of information, which we're going to go over. And we didn't expect here's where the stadium's going to be. This is what it's going to look like. This is how much we're going to spend on payroll.
Right.
It was. I think they hit all the right chords that they needed.
Before you go on, and I want to ask you a question because you were there. I was watching it live. Any thought to where they decided to hold the press conference by any chance? Because obviously, listen, people conspiratorially can look at this and go, well, they decided to hold it in Tampa as opposed to holding it in St. Pete. But my thoughts is, first of all, they just finished the season in Tampa. It's probably a good common ground because it's still kind of Raysville over there. So than it is.
All the signs are down.
Are they all down?
As you walked in, it was Yankee everything.
Okay, I was assuming that they still had some things up there.
I was assuming that too.
That was quick turnover. The Yankees said, "Thank you very much. Thank you for your $15 million. You get out of here." But also, where to do it in you can't do it at the Trop.
Not far from HCC.
Oh, wow.
Teaser.
There you go. So I guess you're answering my question. Yeah. You think that there was a concerted effort to maybe hold it in this side of the bay as opposed to the other side of the bay?
Yeah. I mean, you couldn't do it at the Trop.
You can't do it at the Trop. They're building it.
No. And now there's a million hotels you could have done it at.
Oh, yeah, Fergs.
But Fergs, you could have done it at Fergs.
I mean, that's a landmark. I'll be honest with you, that's a known landmark of
but hot as hell in most of the area. It's not the AC part isn't very big.
That's true. You can't hold it. It had to be outside.
I think logistically too, because you wanted to live stream it and you have all that stuff already set up. They have the RoboCams, the audios, everything is already set up.
That
in that
makes sense.
particular court, that conference room. That's where Neander did his conferences. That's where
last week
all the stuff it's pre-wired. That's probably more than anything.
The logical
scenario. But I
scenario.
do think there maybe is a little bit to the fact that it was on the Tampa side.
Okay.
And we'll get into that in just a little bit. And I thought, first and foremost, to your point, and I'll back it up, I thought they were very professional, and there was a lot of gravitas there.
Yeah.
There's a lot of gravitas there in terms of, Zalewski, who obviously is a very, a billionaire, very well-to-do businessman. He's very polished. Cosgrove very much in the same way, but Cosgrove kind of connected his roots here in Tampa Bay. He has a home, said about an hour south.
Yeah.
So it was a Sarasota, Bradenton area. Longboat Key would be my guess.
Yeah, probably.
A lot of rich people live.
On the Gulf Coast.
Yeah, so right there, and he spent a lot of time here. His Union Mortgage has been the title sponsor of the Gasparilla Bowl for the last 3 or 4 years.
That's huge.
So he's been, he made it.
Talk about being involved.
He went out of his way to make sure that he knows this is not a guy from. Yeah. He said he was from Ohio, but he's a Floridian.
Yeah,
and he has a lot of ties to the Tampa Bay area. Ken Babby, I think as well, kind of made that mark. But, Ken was very polished in terms of, and I loved what he said about the fan experience. The fan experience has to be exemplary. And that's his MO. As a minor league owner in Akron and in Jacksonville, if you talk to those people, they rave about him.
Yes.
And his promotions and marketing and community involvement. They said that multiple times. And I think it was needed. I think the fans needed to hear that. Because that's something that has been severely lacking in the previous group.
Well, predominantly, like I said, when I said the aura of what was presented, what I think the fans that are watching this, that are going to replay this half hour, very well put together press conference, is that aura of positivity, intelligence.
Yes. Gravitas
and realism. Of what needs to kind of have to happen in a kind of methodical yet business-minded approach of what the challenges are. My points and the keys that I left with that were obviously, and we'll touch on all of them, stadium and the criteria for where the stadium should be. Very interesting where they said leave player ops alone, so to speak. Let the great Eric Neander and the great longest tenured manager in the major leagues right now, and Kevin Cash alone per se.
Yes.
If anything, ingratiate them
with
a few more millions of dollars to make better moves. Right. Then, like as you aforementioned, commitment and fan engagement, commitment and engagement with local businesses, commitment and engagement greater in the community. I got that out of, the keys that they were talking about. Then lastly, not at all forgetting about the new stadium, because that was definitely asked by many people in the top. The last one I think was most important is how they see their relationship with St. Pete and the next 3+ years needing to be on point, needing to be very strong, needing to get to that point and give them every help and whatever needs, because they're not footing the bill for fixing the roof and making the stadium right, but they are probably going to foot the bill to add some nuances and some new things in the Trop.
Yes.
So I was really encouraged. And again, I have a soft heart for the Tropicana Field. Dating all the way back to
your office for a long time.
Dating back to 97, 98, after I just retired and Vince Lamoli brought me in, and we were opening the doors for the first time. Dating to me going away from broadcasting and traveling around with ESPN, ABC, you name it, Japan, and then coming back to the fold in 2011 and being there for 12 seasons, and having a real relationship with the fans, not only in the community but also in the Trop. So, nevertheless, if the Trop needs to be replaced with a new stadium, it's going to be kind of a love affair when it does.
Nostalgic.
Yeah, no
3 years
for it to reopen. So I found it interesting that there was a lot of topic and a lot of talk about them working together with the city and them appreciating all the work that's being put in towards April 6th.
Yes.
Kicking it off. And then lastly, they applauded the great works of of the management of that it has been the Tampa Bay Rays for the last, couple decades, namely the last few years, especially Neander, Cash, that scenario. And then, obviously the other aspects of the business side, that's where I see these guys going to really put their hands and their fingers in the pot.
And that's where they can make the most difference, because the previous group was not very good at it. Not very good at working with the local business community, not very good at working with the community. When you look at what some of the other, I'm not saying they did nothing, but there's a huge room for improvement here. And I think also it works both ways. And I think you're going to see an outpouring from the baseball fans. So many of them have basically said, I'm not supporting the previous regime. I can't wait for the new guys, and I'm going to support them. And that's what's, it's up to us now as a fan base to get our ass over to Tropicana Field for the next 3 years and let them know, because I think you're going to see in quite short order an announcement of a stadium on the Tampa side.
Right.
And we'll get into some of the specifics here in a little bit. And I think you're going to, and once that's done, I think the vision is made a little bit more clear that they couldn't do today. I think you're going to see the locals wrap their arms around this group and really show off the passion for baseball that we have in this area. And everyone's going to come together, and it's going to be a tremendous success, unlike anything we've seen. We've had pockets, I think, where the city, the community has been energized by Rays baseball in the World Series run. And it's really been something to behold, to see a full stadium. And the energy that was in it, and the energy in the city around it. But for so many reasons, we've never really done it on a sustained level. And I think it mostly has to do with the previous ownership group. But I think this group can galvanize everybody. That's what I heard today. They're going to galvanize the community, the fans, the business leaders, the political leaders. They have those connections as well, and bring everything together, unlike anything we've ever seen. And we're truly going to see for once what Rays baseball can be in the Tampa Bay community. I think it's going to be outstanding.
Exceptionally put, JP. And I think the key word there that you used is a phenomenal word, and that is galvanize.
Yeah.
It really is. And when you really dissect that word, it does take a scenario where if you're going to galvanize businesses, galvanize the community, galvanize the fandom to kind of join in together, right? When that ownership group is putting out serious dollars in order to do that galvanizing, I think it's imperative that you have true localness to your leaders.
Yeah, absolutely.
And so two things, bear in mind. True localness. When you really think about the great organizations in all of major sports in the United States, it's really kind of been brought forth in those places by people that had already been super involved in those areas. Mm-hmm. Jerry Jones, the Reinsdorfs. You go to New York with even Cohen now is trying to do stuff with the Mets. Obviously, the Steinbrenner family.
Arthur Blank in Atlanta.
In Atlanta. What an incredible owner he is.
Yeah.
He tries, hasn't won much, but tries to, does it the right way.
Absolutely. First class.
You know what I mean? So these are people that were already huge business people in those communities prior to taking them over the entity, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's imperative. That's important. So that's one thing. And then the other thing is, to run it unlike being an ROI situation,
right?
To not run it like how quickly can I get my piggy bank return on investment, but run it in a long-term goal that then will be not only a legacy. Let's talk selfishly. A legacy thing for them and their family for years and years. Again, the Reinsdorfs, the Steinbrenners, the Jones, all those are benefiting for their families for years to come, because it is about making money,
of course.
But then it also encapsulates the community really flourishes. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's why you get great fans in the cities like Dallas, New York, Chicago.
Yeah. They have the emotional investment.
They have the emotional investment.
All right, so let's get to some of the news that was made today. First and foremost, they are going to planning on building a large entertainment district around this baseball stadium. Baseball is just, I don't want to say a small part, but it's the anchor part of this entertainment district that they hope to have 180 dates a year, concerts and other events that are going on. So
Think about it. That's almost, it's 100 more dates than games.
Yeah. And they mentioned the Atlanta Battery, something we've been talking about on this show for years and years and years, as the absolute template that they want to follow. 100%. They've done a lot of work up there. They visited it many times. So think exactly. The only difference is it's going to have a roof. It's going to have a roof, unlike the Atlanta Stadium.
And I like what
not
they said about the roof,
but a roof.
I like the fact that it's not retractable, because they're thinking ahead and thinking, you know what? There's a lot of issues that can happen with having a retractable roof. Why even mess with that? Yeah. This is Florida, and it makes a lot of sense.
And adds an extra $300
for baseball
million to make it retractable.
Not for football, but for baseball, it makes a lot of sense.
And I'm guessing it'd probably be a translucent roof.
Sure. There's so many creative.
It's going to be iconic. Yeah. It's going to be very, very iconic. They also said it has to have a minimum of 100 acres. Now,
for the whole build out.
For the whole build out. Now, that would, on the surface, take St. Petersburg out of it. Mayor Ken Welch was there, and he said specifically the gas plant is 86, so that's not going to work.
I think they can run it up to about 95. Yeah. The last, estimations of it by ARC and Horace and Ellison has put out a proposal that, and there'll probably be other people that put out proposals. By the way, that's just, forget about the stadium part, though. They included a 13 or 14 acre thing. ARC did. It's just a proposal for the whole build out, and it came out to 95 acres. And what Mayor Ken Welch is looking for is, they were kind of having a city of St. Pete meeting today to decide that the stadium deal was going to be put aside. Right. Yeah.
And his body language was very much, and what has
the chances are very slim. Chances are very slim.
I think it's very, very slim that St. Pete.
So I think you move to some others. It was interesting, and I want your comment that Pat Zalewski did mention when he said Tampa Bay, and very graciously did include all of Tampa Bay, right? Mm-hmm. Which meant St. Pete is still under consideration, but which I thought is delicate, but proper, right? Because maybe it might happen, but let's not just say, well, no, we're only going to be in Tampa. Screw you, St. Pete. So he included them, but he also did say that there might be other sites beyond even the ones that's being mentioned, which obviously there's only 3, maybe 4. You have St. Pete, Chansey. You've got obviously the Ybor site, possibly the fairgrounds, and then you have HCC. I'm just intrigued to think, in your opinion, if there could conceivably be any other sites that would encompass that great of landmass.
Now, I've been saying Zalewski myself. Today he was introduced as Zalupski.
Oh, is it?
So I guess we're going to have to go with Zalupski. I'm guessing
we'll go with that then.
That the person that was running the press conference would have asked and got. So I'm going to say
think, right?
Zalupski is what it is. So we apologize, Mr. Zalupski, for butchering your name for the past 6 months. I apologize for that. You could have called.
He sure has been.
You could have called or sent me a message. Golly gee, I feel terrible now. Because I know you listen to the show, and I know Mr. Cosgrove listens to the show, and thank you very much,
Mr. Babby, also
Mr. Babby, which I found out today. They all love, and they love the show, so it was great.
And why not?
And they love the Big O show now.
No, listen, you broke a lot of news, and in fact, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a comment by Mr. Cosgrove that he was leaning on you to break news about his own group. So how could that work?
This guy was a couple of weeks ahead of us. Well, whatever. We have good sources. Great sources. But
yes,
it's just as an aside, though, because we had a question about payroll in here, and they were very ambiguous about that. So of course, I wanted to probably try to narrow down a little bit and get them to speak a little bit more about the parameters of payroll. And so I made eye contact with the person that was handing around the microphone.
Right.
And she made eye contact with me and gave me the old, then she looked at her phone and went to somebody else. And then I was like, and she gave me the nod, and then looked at her phone and went to the guy behind me. And then we did this about 3 or 4 more times. I wasn't. And then at the end, I was like raising my hand in the back as I wanted somebody today, maybe Bill or someone would say, JP has a question in the back. But
because the old group was not
the old PR group was not having it.
Not having it, after.
And I'm not making it up because that was absolutely what 100%.
They were looking at. They were looking at. They go like, "Wait, what is that? JP Peterson? No! Why is there a red flag next to his name? Do not call on him."
Listen, they were nice enough to let me in.
Amen.
But they were not going to let me ask a question. Well, trust me, they'll have them on the show to ask plenty of questions at some point on our show, my show, your show, our show. We'll all have our chances. But I was just as a little aside. So if we didn't get that was going to be my question about payroll. So we didn't get that answered. So I apologize for that. But I tried.
Yeah,
I tried. In fact, Andy was sitting next to me. The radio guy was sitting next to me, and he turned over and he goes, You gave it a heck of an effort.
Did he really? I love Andy. Andy's great. I gave it a good try.
I said, I'm not shocked at that.
Yeah. Coach, can I come in? Can I get into the game?
He had a big
center
laugh.
Field? No,
your ass is on the bench. Not for long. Not for long.
Amen, brother.
It's all good. And by the way, thank you guys for jumping in here with your comments. We're going to get to all of them once we get through all this, and we may answer most of it as we get through. But thank you. We're going to get to all your questions here in just a little bit. By the way, if you're listening on Twitter or YouTube or whatever, if you like to share the show along your social networks, don't forget to like and subscribe. The O Show now. You can find it at YouTube, FanStream Sports Tampa Bay. We're growing. But this is the, without question, best baseball podcast in Tampa Bay, bar none. And soon will be the biggest. So we really appreciate you doing this, and it's growing. And
I will say before you answer on, one thing is that, and the people that have known me and I've been in and around this community, really dating back to my college days, but really as a former player, broadcaster, et cetera, since 97, 98, since the inception, I have a love and passion for this community.
Yes, you do.
That goes, very, very far. And one of the things that I'm very excited about is that the new move potential. I've been very proud of how good the Rays have been on the field. That should be applauded, and I do applaud them.
Yeah.
It's just the next generation of the look and the feel and the love of the Tampa Bay Rays can now potentially take a big step forward. And that's not to say that they can't win a championship. A lot of it is about the stadium. This team, given a few $1 million worth of money and support and everything, could win a championship as soon as next year, brother. So,
I agree.
So there could be a World Series back.
There's a core here.
There's a core here to be had. But I did want to say that my love of the Tampa Bay Rays and the community is immense.
Well, if they're smart, they will rehire you as the
community
liaison, and you would be the perfect person to do that. So, and by the way, they are smart.
Well,
they're really smart.
Kind of felt that way.
They're really smart.
I do want your take on some of the other topics like that, like where the stadium is going to land.
So 100 acres is a minimum. So, well, I asked the mayor about that, Mayor Castor, and she said there is 100. There's not 100 acres downtown, but there is 100 acres in Ybor City.
Correct.
That could be had. So I think that's a possibility, and it's going to be looked at for sure. I think the more likely spot is HCC. And if this, and let me walk you through this for a couple of things. They also said they want it done by 2029.
Which I liked hearing that. Yeah. Because it's the first time that we've
first
really
thing that came out of their mouth.
Yeah. Yeah. That was
after
impressive.
The community stuff. Yeah.
That was impressive.
Yeah. And I think, and I thought it was, and they said it's very ambitious, but there's a reason for it because this goes back to the Braves template. All right. The Braves got it done in 2.5 years from announcement to build out announcement and passage to build out. 2.5 years. That was with no roof.
Right.
With a roof for 3 years. Very ambitious. But the reason the Braves wanted such a tight timeline is because of the revenues generated by the battery and the stadium itself. Their revenues jumped $134 million in year one.
Correct.
So every year you're not done. That's 100, and now you could put that up to 175 now, 100, whatever. Every year it's not done.
That's 9 million visitors this year to the Battery. 9 million. That's not baseball visitors, obviously, because they probably had 2.5 maybe at the game this year. So you had 6.5 million people extra that came and were walking through there and generated tens and tens of millions of dollars.
Yeah. And my question about payroll was going to be going back to the Braves model. Once they got that extra revenue, they put it right into the team. Their payroll went up.
Correct.
And they won a World Series.
Yeah.
And part of that was taking Charlie Morton at $15 million, which we weren't willing to do.
We weren't willing to
win a World Series.
For a veteran pitcher that was a mid-range price for a veteran pitcher.
Ridiculously low. But that's the template they want to follow. So I would say, to answer your question with payroll, when they get into the new stadium, I think it's going to go up significantly. I think it will go up incrementally until then, depending on the revenues. Listen, if we turn out, if we fill the Trop, if we take that from 17,000 to 22, 23,000, I can guarantee you this, they're going to put that money back into the team.
Yeah.
Unlike the previous regime. That's going to go into payroll, into stadium, into more accoutrement for the Trop, which I think they're going to need to do. They already said they're going to do a new sound system, a new video board, which, by the way, the city was not contracted to pay for. So right away, that tells me that's coming out of their pocket.
That they're going to put some money where their mouth is. And also, but I do think that realistically, if they can at least break the $100 million barrier,
I would like to see that
this year and the following years, going into,
I don't think that. I think it's very doable.
I think that's very doable. When you're at 85, 86 million, 87 million this year, give or take, the AAV on that. That's really doable.
Yeah, with central fund money of 100 million or more and revenue sharing, which I think.
So then that gets you in the ballpark of having, those 2 or 3 extra players that you were missing this year due to injury.
It's a big deal.
It's a massive deal. When you have a team that's a tweener that it is right now, this team of the Rays this year, if you look at all their stats, they were middle of the pack in pretty much everything.
Yeah.
They just needed that little extra tweak to make it to, a wild card. And then, the sky's the limit if they make it.
I mean, that's adding probably a power hitting outfielder.
A
legitimate bullpen arm and a legitimate starter.
I don't even think you need to really go crazy and try to, land a $15 million, starting pitching arm. There's enough.
If Sugar Shane comes back.
If Sugar Shane comes back, there's some good sites right now that he could be back and strong in the fold. Right there, you're adding a free agent, right?
The highest price free agent,
one of the best ones.
Yes,
and then tie up Caminero. Tying up Caminero is imperative. I think that shows this,
and that's not going to increase your payroll dramatically
because he's not going to jump to 15 in year one.
No.
But those are the signs that lead you to that 100-acre scenario.
Yeah. So he's 100 acres minimum.
Yeah.
Okay. There is available in Ybor, but probably not Ybor Harbor. And 2029 means you need to be ready to go quickly.
Wow.
And what that means is Ybor Harbor, especially, you've got to clear that land.
There's a lot.
Get rid of the silos. Army Corps of Engineers. That's a lot of prep. So I would take Ybor Harbor, as much as I loved it, off the board. And even Ybor, you've got multiple property.
So where is she
owners.
saying the 100 would be in Ybor then?
I'm guessing back to next to the gas works.
Next to the gas works, out
next
that
to
way.
the gas work. There's probably enough where you could do it there. So, according to her, there is. So, and she would know.
She would know 100%.
She's the man.
She knows the footprint.
And speaking of the mayor, so we did have a conversation with her. I wasn't able to upload it, but I can play it here
by all means.
So here's a bit of our conversation with our
beloved Mayor Jane.
Mayor Jane. So let's.
And very forthcoming and transparent, and they want to be an asset to the Tampa Bay region, and they also want to put a world-class sporting team and facility in the region as well.
And the city of Tampa is on the side of financial offer.
We already did. We did the last time. So yes, we definitely
talking about the money available, making competitive offer.
And we've always said we wanted it in the Tampa Bay area, and nothing's out of the realm of possibility. But I think we're really closer to that goal now than we ever have.
Are you going to go to them and make an offer, or are you going to wait?
Oh no, this will be collaborative, and it's not just the city of Tampa. it will be Pinellas County. It'll be it'll be Hillsborough County Sports Authority, Tampa, a number of different entities that all have a stake in this. And I'm sure the same thing is going to go on in Pinellas and St. Petersburg as well.
Yeah, could you elaborate on the finances you just said?
Asking her to elaborate on the finances and this false narrative that Hillsborough, Tampa don't have money.
That's not true.
No, that's not true. What we've said is that we're not going to spend tax dollars on building a sports facility. So, we put in an offer, Hillsborough County, City of Tampa Sports Authority, for the original a couple of years ago. Well, actually, we put in several plans, but we're going to be right in there working with the new owners to see if Tampa is the best place for the Tampa Bay Rays.
Is there a sense that this new
So when she says no tax dollars, she means no property tax dollars.
Yeah.
So CRA,
Bed
special
tax.
bed tax, SITS tax, those are all taxes that are
available.
available.
Sure.
And they have plenty of money.
And there's tens of millions of dollars in that.
I don't know about that. We just have to go through those conversations. I do know from my interactions with all of the owners is that they are genuinely interested in putting a world-class facility together and something that will be of value to the entire Tampa Bay region.
you get a sense they have the financial back?
Well, they better. They just bought a baseball team. But I think they understand, they're businessmen too, and they understand that the days of baseball standing alone are probably in our rearview mirror, and they need to have that neighborhood that surrounds the baseball field as well.
Are you confident that you guys can get this done?
Oh, of course. Of course. And I'm sure St. Pete's confident as well. And again, while you could say that we're in competition, we do work together. And that has been the goal all along, to make sure that the Tampa Bay Rays stay in Tampa Bay. All right. Thank you, guys.
The great Mayor Jane.
Mayor Jane. So,
They got a pretty good arm too. I played catch with her, by the way.
Oh, she can bring it?
Oh, dude, she was an athlete.
Yeah,
she was an athlete, a serious athlete. And no lefty can catch and throw.
Well, I think what you couldn't see is when I asked her, do you think they have the wherewithal? And she's like, they just bought a baseball team. And then she went on to say their vision is a big one. It's not just baseball. And so it's, you get the sense that she's very confident that they can get this deal done. Now, officially, they haven't had meetings where negotiations have taken place.
Sure.
But they have had meetings in order to put a template together. So these guys they're down. I know they said today they haven't had any of those official meetings for negotiations, but I think they've talked to all the people involved, and I think they have a pretty good idea of what they want to do. For them to come out and say 2029 is that's ambitious.
I thought that was one of the biggest.
It means
takeaways.
that they know they have the money,
right?
They have a plan,
right,
and they know pretty much what they're going to do. So if you start looking at everything, the quickest place to build is HCC.
Sure.
You don't have to build any roads for the most part. You already have the egress, the interstates, everything there for Raymond James Stadium.
Commitment.
You have county. It's state-owned land.
State-owned land.
So Zalupski, good friends with DeSantis, who said that they're not going to pay for this quote stadium, but they'll do infrastructure. So that means they probably get the land for free.
Yeah.
They get they'll incorporate ACC into the building and the entire build out. And you don't have to worry about parking garages because you have the parking right next door at Raymond James Stadium.
Right.
So for the most part, a lot of stuff is already done. You can get shovels in the ground really, really quickly at HCC. It has the land. It has the access. It has the Midtown has proven it's a great, which is very successful, that build out.
Right.
The Glazers are going to do something similar, a mixed use project next to, they've said something like that next to Raymond James Stadium. So you're seeing that's going to become a complex area.
It could be a mecca of
right,
an area.
Right in the middle of Tampa Bay. That's accessible, much easier from St. Petersburg. Obviously, the Bright Line coming into downtown, I would probably expect to see some type of extension
sure
of
Kennedy,
to that whole area. I mean, another probably light rail that would go to the football and baseball stadium, Mecca Entertainment Center there.
Yeah.
I mean, that seems all very, very doable.
It's visionary.
Yes.
And it's potential legacy of a scenario. And when you encompass across the field with Raymond James, and Raymond James will probably be going through a massive renovation in itself in the next few years.
Yeah.
Of like, I mean, you firsthand have seen what Doak Campbell Field got turned into, right?
Yeah, that was amazing.
$200+ million, right?
That's amazing.
And it was amazing.
Yeah.
The videos you showed me and the experiences you already had there in a couple of games.
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer, right?
Yeah.
So imagine you do that and you double that.
Yeah.
At Raymond James.
Yeah.
And $500 million goes into that. And now all of a sudden, the fan experience and the higher level seats experience are otherworldly. Oh, by the way, you build around there by $1 place. And now within 5 to 10 years, not that really long, I mean, you're going to have a Mecca. And remember, Dale Mabry is the center point of the peninsula. Of the peninsula.
South Tampa, yeah.
And all the way up. I mean, because it's the only one that really kind of goes all the way up and connects to Pasco County.
And you've got the veterans that comes right into
the
there.
Comes around,
which brings in Pasco County, Northern Pinellas.
Which has been overlooked a lot when it comes to
you've
sports.
got 75 coming in, and you've got all the different surface roads.
It is.
That come in from
and I'll add one more thing, caveat to that, because you mentioned, Governor DeSantis. I haven't been privy to the ownership group things that were going on back in 2023 that ended up falling apart, but having a term sheet of 1.85 on the table
right.
with Doyle. No, it wasn't St. Pete. This was a group led by the Morse people at the villages, the Morse family and Doyle and several others that had a 1.8 term sheet on the table that Stu ended up turning down in lieu of the St. Pete deal. Oh, by the way, that deal, I know for a fact, was headed to ACC. They were going to build a stadium at HCC.
Interesting.
Backed by Governor DeSantis. That said that, I'll help you guys out, get that done at ACC. So we're close. I think we're really close. Probably place number one. Number two would possibly be, the Ybor area you're talking about. A distant third, is the gas plant. They would have to hit, a late inning home run to.
And Zalewski said that, they're not looking for some big parcel 30 minutes outside of downtown Tampa. They're not looking for that. So,
he did, that was interesting because I was listening.
And I think that was kind of a shot at the fairgrounds, maybe.
I think it was a shot at the fairgrounds.
Not a shot, but
a shot, but like saying we can't use 100 acres over there.
Yeah, it's just too far from
alienate. So basically, you're using the I-4 corridor, but it's complicated.
Yeah.
I think this isn't football. You could put a football stadium
anywhere
because
it's for football. It's 10 games a year.
It's 10 games a year,
and it's all on the weekends.
And you make it a
people.
party.
Yeah, travel times don't really matter.
Yeah. So
baseball, it's inner city.
Yeah.
You want people to be able to get there from their neighborhoods, from where they live.
Sure.
And that is right in the middle of huge neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And very accessible because we already know how to get in to Raymond James Stadium, and it's really quick. It's amazing to me how quick it is actually to get in and out of Raymond James Stadium
compared to other cities.
They got it down.
Yeah,
they got it down.
A lot of quarters.
So to me, those are all the things I heard today. And by the way, the HCC thing is just a speculation on our part.
Yeah, no, this is like, but it is on the table as being viable.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, but I feel like, and so do you, that one seems to be the most okay.
It fits all the parameters they laid down today.
With the main parameter, I think one of the biggest news that came out of there was the fact that the date of 2029 came out of their mouths. I wasn't expecting that.
I wasn't either. And they were emphatic about that.
Because you've heard you're going to have the 7 years at the Trop and all.
That was asked about an extension at the Trop, and it said that's not something we're thinking about at this time.
2029.
It's ambitious.
Is ambitious, bro.
These guys know what they're doing.
God bless them.
Yeah. You want to get to some of the questions and comments here?
Yeah, sure.
Let's do this. Since you guys are jumping in here so early, we really appreciate you.
Yeah,
Thank
we
you.
do, buddy.
Mike H says a few things I heard. Must be 100 acres. Yes. Just saying that will resemble the battery in Atlanta. They even worked with Atlanta to understand how it all works. Yeah, they were very adamant about that.
I said it before, by the way, in a report recently about the battery. Not only was 9 million people came to their fans, not fans. These are just visitors.
Yeah,
they're not fans. They weren't. It's just 9 million people stepped foot in the battery this past year. Oh, by the way, 28% were from not only outside of Atlanta, outside of the state of Georgia.
Really?
28%.
So it means it's a tourist.
It became a
attraction.
Mecca.
Yeah,
it's a place to go.
And
to.
that's what you're really
from
looking for.
Alabama and from Florida, people were going to see the battery.
And that's what, when you have people from around Tampa going to spend their money there, from an economic impact standpoint, you're just moving one to the other. But when you have people coming from outside the area, then you're dumping it.
The only comparison that we could have tied to baseball is spring training.
Right. Yeah. And that's a huge money maker.
People come out.
Heads and beds.
Yeah.
Heads and beds, restaurants, all that stuff. And it's huge
so
for
this would be a year-long spring, summer-long spring training.
That's the true return on investment of your tax dollars.
Where you have people coming down here all the time and taking their summer vacations because how cool the battery for the Rays is.
And we said this, but I think, Mike, you actually said it more concisely here. Mike H says, they said the revenue from the overall development would fuel the payroll to fund a perennial championship team. They also said they will have zero input on baseball and leave it to Eric and Kevin. That's exactly, so they're a little vague on payroll, but what their concept is correct and exciting. So if they do exactly what the Braves did, again, to my point, pick that $134 million and put it into the payroll, not all of it, but obviously a good portion of it, in addition to what you were going to spend on payroll.
Right.
Now you're getting the Rays to close to mid payroll of Major League Baseball, 150, 160, which is double what we've been playing with.
Right. But remember, and I want to make a difference here when what you hear in this press conference, when they're saying they're going to leave alone player ops. Okay. That's great. That doesn't mean that they're going to leave alone when player ops comes and say, hey, we'd like to try to sign this guy for umpteen millions of dollars. They're the ones that kind of sign off on that. But they're not going to get involved. There's so many owners. I can think of Peter Angelos. I can think of so many owners that got personally involved. Artie Moreno has been guilty of that with the Angels, where they got involved in the deals themselves. Mm-hmm. Artie Moreno just came out and said that he's going to be the one that makes the decision who's the next manager is. That should be your player ops person. They would know best who should be on the field as
that's
field
why
manager.
the Angels are why they are.
That's where the Angels are.
Why they had Ohtani
or where they are
and Trout, and they couldn't even make the playoffs.
So I think it's you got to differentiate leaving an entity that has been so successful alone, but then go ahead and okay certain necessary funding, so then they could rise to a different level.
Castor said Tampa will not put public tax money into a sports complex. Okay, so and I understand, you got to understand the difference between
differentiation. Yes.
Public, what she means by that is property tax dollars, which funds everything else in the city.
Exactly.
But bed tax money, that's tourist tax. That's not taxpayer money. That's tourist tax. SITS money is technically tax dollars, but that comes from a sales tax. Again, that's a lot of tourist tax. And then the special CRAs are a special taxing district where you can set it up. And since it's state land, I understand that can be done, is that, what, like they do in the battery, every burger sold, there's an extra quarter that goes to, right. So it's kind of a user fee.
Right.
So it's not taxed. It's a user fee. If you don't go down there and use that area, you ain't paying for it.
You're not paying.
So that all that money is quote public money, but it's not
tax money, but it's not,
property tax money, which comes from, for people that don't want to, put it in, you don't have to, in that sense. And I think, again, when you're building, and this is what happened in the battery, there was a lot of, initially, because I worked in Atlanta when we actually broke this on our show in the morning when the whole thing was announced. And there was a lot of pushback from the city of Atlanta, and a lot of people, the Atlanta Urinal and Constipation, their paper about what a bad deal this is for taxpayers, and it was done. I think that's what. And they're it's just horrible for tax. Blah blah blah. The libraries in Cobb County. Blah 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 blah. And it was, in the first year,
they want them to leave to go to Cobb County.
Well, the first year was, they almost made most of their money back, and then since then, it's been ridiculous.
Yes.
And and they built, and this is money that doesn't go to the quote economic impact in terms of some studies. They built 0 new office buildings in the last 15 years in Cobb County. When the Braves announced, they built 10 mega.
Everybody,
and that's all more tax dollars.
That's all corporate money that comes in,
and that's tax dollars for the next 50 years.
Right.
So it's been a tremendous success for Cobb County.
The potential of exponential dollars when you create something like what about the jobs?
Yeah.
That it creates. Oh, by the way,
which we need
for our own people, right?
We need really good jobs.
So this is a legacy scenario that, again, I'm the type of person that don't like to hindsight's 2020, but should have been here 5 or 7 years ago.
Well, and as I've always said, when you have an entity as an ownership group that really wants to get it done and work with a public-private partnership, you heard the mayor say we offered them money a long time ago.
She did say that,
but Stu didn't want to pay a dime. He didn't want to pay a dime.
It was funny the way she did say. She's like, we offered him a couple years ago, and several other times.
Yes, several other times we did that as well. But as I've reported many times, he always moved the goalpost. Never wanted to fulfill a deal because he was making bank at Tropicana Field where he paid no rent.
Yes.
It didn't matter how many fans showed up. He still was going to make tens of millions of dollars.
And you wonder why you didn't get to ask a question.
Shocking development. Yeah, that was a mistake on their part. PR staff.
PR staff's like, we remember you.
Uh-huh.
Well, we'll see what happens with that deal.
I will keep my mouth shut.
Keep your mouth shut.
Rick said, did anyone see if T-Kraz and Topkin had sycophants for hire signs on them in the press conference? Rick, that's terrible. I can't believe you said that. Rick also says, I bet Stu spit out his champagne and lobster every time he heard them say private-public partnership. Oh my God. Brandon Weed said, I would have liked the biggest press conference in Rays history to go a little longer than 32 minutes, but that's me. More questions needed to be asked. Yes, you are correct. I had my hand up.
Yeah.
32 minutes was not long enough. They said they had to get to a meeting with the staff over at Tropicana Field, which I'm sure they did. And also, I think the less said, the better at this particular point, probably, because they know what they're doing. They're not here to, blow smoke up your ass.
Thankfully.
They're not. I think that's part of this is like, we know what we're doing. We want to let you give, this is our vision.
We're not selling. We are selling. We're not selling, stuff like that. That was going on for a long time. Bottom line with that, that's a very good point that comment was made by, who was it?
Brandon Weed.
Good comment. I thought so the same too, as I was watching it live. I go, damn, it's over. But remember this. Listen, this was about a few things. We went over the key questions, the key stuff that needed to go over, which was the stadium and the fact that it's kind of in a embryonic stage, if you will, to some degree, because to a major degree, a lot of behind the scenes things have been going on already. Yeah. But nevertheless, they made this solid statement, true statement. Listen, we needed to finalize the sale, which was last Tuesday, a week ago. So technically, they've really been in possession of the team for just a week. And now you kind of do this. So that was a key criteria. And then the other thing that was key about today was, this is who we are.
Yeah.
Meet us. We're going to tell you a little bit about each of us. Cosgrove said his history, the fact that he's involved heavily in this community, the Gasparilla Bowl. I mean, come on, what more do you want? This guy is truly, not only putting it made a business, but putting his money where his mouth is. Who is Patrick Zalupski now? Zalupski. We love you. and then obviously Ken Babby. Dude, Ken Babby is a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, the way that he answered questions and the way that he kind of, was able to take the and kind of really kind of be articulate about where the vision is going. The fan experience part for me is very, very interesting because I believe this thing has to be make the fan, experience greater, more fun, meet the community more head to head on, right? Both with your dollars, but also with your appearances and getting out there and then putting a winning product on the field. And Babby hit all those points so well. Yeah. And I think this is a guy that you're going to be able to go to and ask the hard questions as the years go on and say, hey, we're trying to do this and be transparent, as much as the transparency you would want to have.
It strikes me. It's very interesting because of the triumvirate that we had up there.
Right.
Zalewski is a developer.
No doubt.
Dreamfinders Homes, residential, commercial, and the billionaire. He's in the middle. On the left, or to his right, is Cosgrove, who's what? A money guy.
Yeah.
He funds the building of these things, right?
Right.
And then you have the third part of this triumvirate is the guy who knows how to run baseball teams and market and promote it,
right,
and give them the revenue to be successful. I mean,
that's why I thought
that's a pretty damn good formula, right?
Positive aura.
Yeah, these guys know what the hell they're doing.
That's all you needed right now.
Right.
Yeah, we could have been sitting here,
right,
but then we would have been,
then you get into the minutia.
Exactly. Now you're going to re-ask the question of where the thing is going to be
built.
There'll
be a lot of that. Yeah. And to your point, which I thought was a really good one, is that you don't want to come out here and say, we're going to buy up all these free agents and we're going to spend $400 million and we're going to build the biggest thing. It's just, here's our plan.
Yeah.
We know what we're doing. Let us show you, what we look like, what we sound like, how you judge the genuineness. And I think that's something that we've heard that, and the mayor said it a few times, this is an authentic group. And I think this is, you hear these kind of words and
you're talking about Mayor Jane, right?
Mayor Jane.
If you ask Mayor Ken about authenticity from the last ownership,
exactly,
it would not be pretty.
My point, they're very transparent. They're very authentic.
He's not very happy with how that.
It was like, in other words, everything the last group was not, which I think is interesting. Trade Track says they also never mentioned if they would rebrand the team. That's a question I was going to ask as well, but I was stymied. Sorry. Daniel Rivera says, good afternoon, gentlemen. I found the mayor's comments very interesting about 100 acres available in Ybor. Yes. The question is, where would she be referencing there? HCC, the favorite, at 108. Actually, HCC
bigger than that.
It can go up to 120.
120, yeah.
Yeah, and that extra 12 acres is a lot.
I mean, for a baseball field, you need 13 to 14 acres.
Right.
So
for the baseball stadium, yeah.
Now you got 100 acres of all the other craziness and fun, multi-use scenario. But what did you mean? I'm going to go back to the train wreck. Was it
train track?
Train wreck.
The rebranding.
Yeah. What was your thought on that?
Getting rid of the Rays, Sunbursts.
Oh, so completely rebrand
and go back to the Devil Rays colors and accoutrement. I do like the blue and white Rays uniforms. I just don't like the Sunburst.
The Sunburst, okay. Yeah. I mean, they could possibly wear around that.
Yeah.
I like the Tampa Bay Rays, scenario, and not go back to the Devil Rays.
I don't necessarily go back to Devil Rays, but
right.
I like the Devil Rays logo, instead of the Starburst. I think that's what in the purple, neon green.
Yeah, I mean, you can go to still do a Manta Ray.
Yeah,
and be a Tampa Bay Rays because you're the Tampa Ray. But
leave the devil out.
Yeah,
we don't like the devil.
Let's leave that for New Jersey.
or back to New York. Good afternoon, Joe. Oh, sorry, I already did that one. Brandon Weed says, "Put the stadium out in the fairgrounds. Plenty of hundreds of acres to build. You get Hard Rock involved in the deal. Not everybody goes to the casino. It's not accessible." Like if it's out at the fairgrounds,
it's a tricky demographic that you're.
Yeah, it's an extra 15, 20 minutes for anybody in St. Pete.
You're trying to go.
It's an extra 15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
you
the people
get all the gamblers and you get the vacationers.
That's not who we are.
But we're trying to get
Monday through Thursday. Yeah.
Community.
Yeah. Rick says, is JP going to actually start the show, or is he still trying to convince new owners that the benefits of a sliding roof? No, drone tarp, bro. Drone tarp.
Ooh.
No, we're getting a fixed roof, and I think that's great.
Nah, it makes a lot of sense.
Mike H says, I hope they don't rebrand. I love their uniforms, and yes, Tim, I love the Starburst thing. I don't like the Starburst.
I'm okay with banging the Starburst.
Okay. Michael Tucker, good morning or good afternoon to you, says the new ownership group said all the right things. If they want to start playing 2029, then shovels need to be in the ground by March 2026. I'm sure they're further along in the process than we think. Yes, they are. And again, to that point, the most shovel-ready site
Again.
is HCC.
Yeah. Right.
Rick says yes.
Which makes that 29 comment very interesting.
Yes. Rick says yes, they were building in Tampa without saying it. I got that sense.
Who was that, Rick?
Rick says that. Are there?
Rick?
Yeah.
I think I might have to agree with you, buddy.
Yeah. And every time they were asked about St. Petersburg, it just seemed like this magnanimous, well, we're looking everywhere,
Yeah. And that's great, man. And that's still
because they don't want to
okay.
alienate St. Pete because they need St. Pete for the next 3 years.
And not just that.
And I'm not saying that they're doing
that
something
sounded
nefarious.
bad
I know.
Because,
yeah, that did sound bad.
That sounded bad. Because it's not so much you need them. You're going to play.
You want them part of the family.
You want them part of the family.
You don't want to alienate them.
Still going to be this. If you're talking about branding, this is not going to be the Tampa Rays.
No, it's Tampa Bay.
It's the Tampa Bay Rays and beyond.
I retract my statement.
And thank you. Yes. And beyond, because you know where some of the biggest fans come from for the Tampa Bay Rays? It's Sarasota.
Yeah. Pinellas County too.
Pinellas County, North, but really the biggest, season ticket holders, Sarasota, they come right over the Skyway and they go right back over the Skyway and they got a lot of money.
They do.
So you need to keep them happy.
Yeah.
You need to keep St. Pete happy. And I think he handled that properly.
Yep. I agree. What else we got here? JS says, is the Ybor Harbor site shovel ready? No. Seems like there's a lot of prep work that needs to be done. Yeah, that's why I think
knocking down.
Yeah, and and also it's especially if you're looking at Ybor Harbor, there's a lot of industrial stuff that's going on there. So you got to treat all that.
That's going to be eventually that's going to be a neat tie-in mecca.
Yeah.
To
they'll build that soccer stadium there and that whole mixed use.
Yeah,
Daryl Shaw is going to
be fantastic.
Beautiful. Yeah,
and again, what we're talking about here is building a legacy for the Tampa Bay area. Gas plant needs to be developed. Conceivably, if it's HCC, the Raymond James and their development. Goodness, man, a lot of people are going to be wanting to, again, people already are complaining about the traffic in Tampa Bay. It's already grown a lot in the last 10 years. But this is going to be the start. This project by itself is going to be the start of truly putting Tampa Bay on the market as a frontline city in the United States of America.
I agree. Iconic. It's going to be an iconic area.
Yeah.
Right in the middle of Tampa Bay, right next to the airport.
Great football team that's winning year in and year out.
Imagine as you fly in and you see two stadiums and all the area.
One of the reasons, for example, Philadelphia is pretty neat, and I remember doing the World Series for ESPN when the Rays were in it and playing Philly, and I also did the Yankees one the following year in 09 for ESPN. And you just got to get to that stadium, then you look across. And in fact, one of the nights that there was a game, it was a dual thing, kind of like what happened recently where, you had a football game and you had a World Series game, so it was pretty cool.
Hey, really quickly want to say thank you to Texas Roadhouse Wesley Chapel as our presenting sponsor. I really appreciate them. There's another great area up in Wesley Chapel, and the Texas Roadhouse was one of the first ones to come in there, and they've been there for 15 years because everybody freaking loves that place.
A lot of Rays fans over there.
Yeah, Tyler's the managing general partner there, and he does a fantastic job. We met the butcher over there. It's really a family kind of.
The bartender.
Jenny runs a little sports bar there.
Yeah,
you get some great food and watch all the baseball games and football games
all around you. It's a wonderful
Super
place,
nice.
and again, like you said, it is a little mecca over there. What's happened on Highway 56, and obviously you've got the great shopping, on each side of the restaurant. So come on down there when you get a chance and mention the Big O Show and JP Peterson, and they'll take care of you. Good time.
Absolutely. And we mentioned Kingmakers, where we're coming to you live from here, kingmakerstampa.com, a very unique private club where you can work and play. We've got office space here, private offices, shared offices, a sports bar, a golf simulator, this production facility that you can also use. So go to kingmakerstampa.com, find out more. Limited memberships available. So if you want to get in now, because this ain't far from the new baseball stadium.
Hey,
I mean,
geez. You're
proposed baseball.
you're just taking
Did
steps.
I give it away?
You're taking steps forward.
Sorry, I didn't mean to.
I mean, I'm called
But we're
track.
not far.
Basketball's
But
gonna
if you
start
were
soon.
working here,
it's either walking or is it offside?
or if you're working,
The
if
blue
you're
line? What
yeah, I
is the
think I
deal?
crossed that blue
You
line
crossed that blue
long
line.
ago. I'm in the penalty
You're
box.
in the penalty box.
But no, seriously, if this was your
Holy
satellite
cow,
office,
we're right down the street.
right down the street from all the
Every-
shenanigans going to be going on.
Yeah,
It maybe.
it looks pretty strong.
Maybe. We'll see.
Yeah.
Michael says will definitely be something to see with the potential of tying into Ray J and what the Bucks will have coming down the road. The next few years are going to be very exciting. You ain't lying about that.
No, but
JS says don't hate the HCC spot closer to West Shore and the airport. Yeah, absolutely.
they
He
might
also
sign Baker to pitch a little bit, maybe in some of the games. You never know.
JS says, sorry, John Morgan, the dream in Orlando is over. Although Ken Hagan did say again to me that Orlando is a threat if we screw this up.
Wow.
They got 100 acres in Orlando. Don't screw it
They
up.
got 100 acres all over Orlando.
Don't screw it up. Phil Rollerson says it sounds more like Colorado than Atlanta. Let's build a first-class stadium while keeping the small market mentality when it comes to payroll.
That's interesting that he says that because Blake Street and what they built around Coors Field.
Yeah, they did a great job with that.
They did a great job of there. It's a little different. The battery is just a more state-of-the-art Blake Street.
But he says, like Colorado with a small payroll. We'll keep the small market mentality when it comes to payroll. I disagree. I don't think that's happening.
I think we could step up into the Atlanta. I think the Atlanta is the.
They said that's the
comparison.
That's the one they're looking at.
Atlanta's not up there in the 200 millions, but they jumped up into the middle of the pack and beyond.
Yeah, Michael LeBrew says an entertainment district at the HCC Dale Mabry location would be a win for all Raymond James Stadium events as well.
I think so.
Yeah, because if you're going to a Bucks game, you're going to right across the street.
Right across the street.
So it's a battery for football and baseball.
No, listen, it's a win.
Yeah,
could be a win.
Yeah. K-pop lover says I still think it's St. Pete. Well,
really, K-pop.
K-pop's on drugs.
No, K-pop's loves some
those K-poppers. You never know what they're up to.
They're smart, man. They make a lot of money. Those K-poppers.
JS wants the upper deck open.
The what?
The Trop. $5 tickets. Yeah. Scott Rasnick says let's bring
some of those type of creative nights.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna have some fun.
He said nights. Ken Babby. I forgot to talk about this, and I think it's important.
Yeah.
Ken Babby said we want to make it more affordable for families. Love that.
And more creative and so more affordable regularly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. I mean, if I was them, I'd say, hey, we got a family plan, $10 seats, upper deck for families. And for an extra $5, you get a hot dog and a Coke with it.
Listen.
Bingo.
You know,
that's cheaper than a movie.
They need to do.
Pete Alonso's not coming here. We got a first baseman for the future.
Bo Bichette, though. And we're going to, by the way, on Friday, we're going to have Dante Bichette on our show.
Oh, Dante's coming in?
Dante's coming in on Friday.
All right.
So, father of the great Bo Bichette, who's nicked up right now with the knee injury. He's hoping to play in the next series if they get beyond the Yankees, which are looking pretty darn good right now.
Yeah.
So, but
you saved me an error in the celebrity
Dante
game.
did?
Yeah.
No way.
I scooped it first because I couldn't reach all the way from third base.
You threw it in the dirt?
We'll hop, I think.
And then he picked it?
Of course.
Very much like Freeman did yesterday.
Yeah.
You see that? Wow.
That's a pick.
That was a pick. The last out in the 9th inning in a 43 game. That's a pick.
You ever done that?
Oh, I have.
Is that pressure on that?
It's pressure. But the one thing, if you watch, man, he went out and instead of coming back on that ball, he went out and got it. So you got to attack that ball. The in-between bounds, there's the ones that are the longer ones that you catch it back.
You control the hop.
But that one you have to go and get it, and you just hope that you hit it somewhere here so it stays in your glove. That's the key, and he's so good. He's so good. By the way, I just got to say it, okay? And I know we're talking Rays and stuff like that, but this is baseball. The 9th inning for that Dodger game, those that watched it, and if you haven't watched it, just look up Dodgers and Phillies wheel play. was just classic, man. They ran the actual wheel play that is not seen anymore in the big leagues that much. And that is when you sacrifice pretty much second base, man on second, and they just came in the corners, and second base goes to first, and that's why it's called the wheel, because the shortstop goes to third, and you're hoping that the ball gets bunted, because if they swing away, there's an open field and any grounder will go through. But sure enough, Stotts bunted it perfectly to third. Muncy grabs it, spins and throws. The only reason this play actually worked, two reasons. Number one, Castellanos is not that great of foot speed. They should have pinch ran for Castellanos. And in fact, they had the kid, Weston Wilson, available to pinch run, and they were holding him back because they were going to use Bader to pinch hit. And they did. But Bader's leg is jacked, so Bader gets a hit, and they pinch ran with Wilson after that play.
Right.
But I would have pinch ran Castellanos with Wilson before that.
Right ahead. Yeah.
So the reason it worked, Castellanos not that fast. Dude, freaking Mookie Betts is basically, he played like Ibuka on that play.
Yeah.
I mean, he ran a route so sweet, perfect, catches the ball, leaning down, puts the tag. That just closed the game right there. Obviously, the pick to end the game was huge, too. Edmund makes a bad throw. But the fact that this team goes to show you they don't just win on hitting home runs. And I think arguably they have the best pitcher on the mound right now in postseason, which is by a guy, by the way. Oh, Blake Snell. Did we have him? I think we had him. So, as
Cody said, it was sad watching Blake Snell pitch last night. 9 Ks, one hitter.
Are you kidding me? He's arguably the best. And I know there's Tarek Skubal. No. It's Blake
when
Snell.
He's on.
When he's on, the only thing that beats him is that he's trying to be too fine with 4 incredible plus pitches, right? And then he gets in the walks. So that's the only thing, because he gave up 1 hit, only gave up 3 home runs this season.
When's the last time I saw Blake Snell give up 1 hit through 6 innings, have 9 Ks?
Oh, geez. 2020, 2021.
Game 6 of the World Series.
Game 6 of the World Series.
Ring a bell?
Yeah. Listen. It was just incredible. By the way, just to close out that wheel play scenario, you know that came about. It wasn't like, a lot of times you'll have signs for that. We're going to run the wheel. When they got together on the mound, Mookie goes out there and he tells everybody, let's run the wheel play. Let's just run it. I got it. Dude, if they throw it into left field, that changes everything. So it goes to show you that the Dodgers aren't just, great hitting team and everything. It's all around, and they're a dangerous team. But anyway, good point.
I gotta put this one up, and then we'll be done with the Rays. We'll talk a little bit more baseball. Hernando says these dudes are out of dough. He says these dudes blew all their cash. They have no money left. What do they do with HCC? Who cares? Man, I mean, come on, man. These guys blew all their cash buying the Rays, and now they're like, "Oh, we don't have any." Yeah, that sounds like
I don't.
That's
think that's
the case. If you're a successful businessman and you have $1 billion company, you're that stupid.
No, I think
they're not that stupid, point. Hernando. You might be that stupid, but
I think it's on point, and
that makes no sense, bro. Absolutely no sense.
What makes sense is to more study the immense amount of money that comes in year out to a Major League Baseball team.
Hernando says Battery in Atlanta is on 74 acres total. And that's the point. When they talked to the people in Atlanta, Hernando, they said the big mistake they made was land.
Yeah.
They needed more land, and we're not going to make that mistake.
Right.
We learn from others who have made mistakes, i.e. the Marlins, and how they did their stadium. Thankfully, we dodged a bullet, and we didn't put it in another bad area with terrible financing with a bad ownership group. We almost did, but we didn't. We dodged the bullet, and now we're going to do it the right way, and we'll see how incredible it's going to be. Lonnie Wilkins said, do we see a rebrand of the Rays imagery coming? You would think a new ballpark means a new look at the same name.
I mean, there'll probably be some changes, but I don't think it'll be too dramatic.
Yeah.
I don't think that's the biggest concern.
Hernando's just an a-hole. I'm not even going to deal with you anymore, bro. Hernando is banned. Bye-bye. You say something insulting, you get banned. We don't put up with that here. So You can, if you want to differ with us and have a debate and say, have an opposite opinion, absolutely. We'll even put your stuff up like we just did. But when you start insulting people, you get banned. Bye-bye. We don't put up with that. If the Rays signed Pete Alonso for $25 million a year and Bo Bichette for 28, the payroll would be around $140 million. That would rank 18th. There you go. There you go.
I think Bo Bichette could be interesting.
Yeah. Let's see. Pete is a first baseman, guys.
No,
we have
Pete is a first baseman,
all-star first
DH.
baseman and Jonathan Aranda.
So somewhere
Yandy
along,
Diaz.
Yandy's being speculated to be possibly traded. Seattle's.
I mean, if you want to trade
interest.
Aranda and get something big back sign
the
Pete,
thought,
I'm
the thought
fine.
Would be maybe trade Yandy and then you're bringing Pete to just hit.
Yeah.
You
could do that. You could do that, either one. But if he wants to come here, and I'm not going to say don't sign him, but Aranda's cheap.
Aranda's cheap and good.
I think he projects at 25,
Yeah.
30 home runs a year.
Yeah.
But a higher average.
More
RBIs.
Solid at first.
Yeah.
And listen, he's a gap hitter, no doubt. But his exit velocity is fantastic, one of the tops in the league. So, and his contact, even against lefties was impressive this year. He impressed me.
Yeah.
I was not expecting that.
Yeah.
Now I have to expect it year in and year out. So you're going to make him one of the core middle of the bat guys.
Another great comment from JS. The ballpark at HCC would be great for riveters for a pregame pop. Yeah, that's right.
Gotta love our riveters, man.
Love our riveters, folks.
We had the burger. I had the burger there the other day. It was fantastic.
Wasn't that fantastic?
It was very good.
Fries are good too.
The fries are great.
Oh, I love the ambiance.
Unless you got to have it medium or something, ask for it medium rare. It is just it melts in your mouth.
Phil Rollerson, love that Seminole avatar you got there, partner. Says bring back the baby blue jerseys with rays across the chest and road uniforms that say Tampa Bay. I like that.
I like that.
I like that idea. We've never had road uniforms that say Tampa Bay.
I like that.
Or have we? Maybe back in the beginning.
I can envision that, and that looks cool.
Yeah. Alex Nuns asks, thoughts on signing long-term players to rebrand us long-term? Remember, Rays fans are hurt. Put your stamp on it by bringing in long-term players. Bring the fans back. Listen, I think that's part of the vision here.
He's talking about signing like the Camaneros of the world long term,
keeping our players.
Yeah. Like Jackson Churios, got tied up with Milwaukee. Obviously a good example. The guys to compare to where Junior would be a kid like Jackson Churios. The other one would be Roman Anthony with Boston. Who they tied him up for 8 years, 130.
That's what we're talking about.
So that's kind of the area, he's very comparable. Roman Anthony's again, 21, 22. I know Churios is 21. Our boy's 22.
And they said
you need to tie him up. You need to tie him up for 7 or 8 years at about $1.25.
And they said this specifically. The reason they're doing the big build out is to provide revenue to be competitive, to have a competitive baseball team. If you're just doing a stadium, they're not going to have the revenue needed to compete with the Yankees and these others. So they're thinking about competing with the big boys. I'm not saying they're going to be spending $300 million.
But you don't need to.
You don't need to.
You don't need to.
Only if you're the Yankees.
With the player ops that they have, you do not need to. You just need to be up in the middle ranks. If you're up in the middle ranks, I'm telling you right now, then you know what you can get? You can get that heyday period of the 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, where we actually had familiarity with our players. We had David Price for a while.
Yes.
We had Ben Zobrist for a while.
Imagine.
We had James Shields for a while. We had obviously Longoria, BJ. I mean, these were like the icons for about a 6-year period.
Yes.
Once they hit free agency,
boom.
See you, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Not anymore.
So now you can have a little bit, you can buy Aranda shirts and hopefully keep him around. Definitely Caminero, Carson Williams. Yeah, you're all about Kyle Tucker. I don't know about that one. That one arguably is going to be $40 million a year. So
the price may have dropped in the last.
No.
J. Rose like, no, it didn't.
Trust me.
That's his.
That price is not dropped.
Hunter Tubbs says, great work as always, guys. Thank you, Hunter. Appreciate that.
Appreciate it, Hunter.
JS says we need to dump the Starburst and the skateboards. Agreed. All right, let's
I'm with that.
Yeah, let's talk some baseball here for final few minutes here. There's some great baseball going on,
Great
bro. I've
games.
been watching a lot of football, so you have to catch me up a little bit.
Great games. Going to the LAD Philly game, very, very surprising that the Philadelphia Phillies, who are well rested, could not take advantage of being at home. When you look at the 4 series that are going on, it's the Phillies now that have the greatest back against the wall because they lost 2 home games. I mean, that's atrocious. And I will say and go back again that Snell, double down on that. Snell is arguably the most dominating pitcher in postseason right now. And that mainly is because he does truly have 4+ pitches. Schoolball, phenomenal. I love him. But gave up a couple home runs to Polanco just a couple days ago. Snell's not giving up home runs. The only thing he gives up is walks, and that's why he had to be taken out because he was at 99 pitches after 6 innings because he just tried to be too fine. That's the one thing that, when he was young here, he would try to be so fine with every curveball, so fine. And that's great. And most of the time he does have that control to be so fine. But he also forgets that his stuff plays so well, and he has the one thing as a hitter, brother, I tried to rule out 2 of the pitches. Let's say a starter has 4 pitches. So I would assume 90% of the time, 2 of them weren't that good. 2 of them really good. So then I'm really concentrating on those 2. When you get a guy like Maddox, back in the day, Brett Saberhagen, those type of guy, back in the day, David Cohn, that had 4 quality pitches at any point in time from 3-0 to 0-2 that could throw to you. Man, it makes it really hard. That's why Blake Snell is a key. Now, the bottom line with that series, Philly had 2 nasty lefties going, okay? 2 nasty lefties in Sanchez and Luzardo and wasted 2 really good appearances.
Yep.
Wasted them. And I'm going to tell you how much they wasted them. You know what Shohei Ohtani is in this series?
What?
1 for 9 with 7 strikeouts. With 1 hit that he got yesterday, and it was an RBI single, which was clutch, but they've just thwarted their left-handed bats. Freddie Freeman wasn't doing much until late in the game. So these guys, the Dodgers being that they ended up playing small ball, they got things in place, and in yesterday's game, because obviously they got big ball in the first game with Teoscar's home run in the 7th. But the bottom line is they perfected a wheel play beautifully, and then made another great defensive play, and they just took 2 from the East leading Phillies that now they have to lick their wounds and go on to LA. It's going to be mad tough. When you move on to the Yanks and the Jays, what can I say? What can I say? What can I say, me being a Yanks fan?
Sorry, bro. Not sorry, actually.
It's holy shnikey, bro.
What the hell happened to their pitching
Their
staff?
pitching got shellacked.
Did they just blow it all out against
Max
Boston?
Fried didn't pitch terrible, but he didn't dominate.
Right.
You know what I mean? And you needed him to dominate. He was the problem with Max Fried in Toronto. This season versus the Jays, he dominated them at the stadium in New York with a sub-2.5 ERA. When he pitched against them in Toronto for some reason or other, and that just happens, they just the comfort on the mound, you name it, +6 ERA. And it showed up. In that game. And then, the bottom line, it kind of goes to show you, JP, how important it is to win a division. Because if they would have won that division, just one game difference.
Sitting at home and getting rest, baby.
Not just that, you're starting game 1 and 2 at home.
Yeah.
You had to go
with
to
your
Toronto
2 best pitchers
with your
rested.
2 best pitchers rested. So now the pressure is on. But what I will say, I really enjoy watching the Jays hit and play ball. They spray the ball around. Obviously, they hit a bunch of home runs, but they also, play small ball. They also play, as I always talk about, right center, left center, with runners scoring position, dramatically dangerous there. And then they've shut out who they needed to shut out. They've shut out Judge, Rice, and Stanton so far. And now it's going to be Mr. Carlos Rodon. Por favor, show us the way, because if you look at it, possibly, if you look at the advantage on the mound in starters, it's Rodon and Schlittler for the next 2 games, should be, because you got Shane Bieber, who's coming back with Tommy
fantastic.
John. You got Tommy John, Shane Bieber, who can be iffy going up against Carlos, and then Schlittler's showing what he could do. a la their guy.
It ain't over.
Yeah, it could be.
It ain't over till it's over.
Cubs and Brewers, buddy. Very disappointing how the Cubs have played so far. Very disappointing. Cold bats. They're starting pitching. I think what ended up happening, bro, is that they're so weakened right now with their starting pitching that they had to throw Matthew Boyd back out there in short rest. Got knocked around. That started, a bad scenario. Shote Imanaga. Nadie tendayo, Shote. Nandeska. Yima Shoshi Wadui. This. I just said, what the hell are you doing? And your condition right now is horseshit. In Japanese.
Well, okay. What word is horseshit in Japanese?
Wadui.
Wadui. Oh, I will use that. Wadui.
Wadui. You are Wadui. So
that's going to be in my
it's
verbal arsenal.
Yeah.
For guys like Hernando, they come in here.
It might be on your headstone too. JP Wadui Patterson.
Well, if Stu writes it, it will be.
Especially their PR department. They were looking on their phone. They're going like,
God. I wish I could see what was on that girl's phone.
Peterson, Wadui. Oh, no, Wadui. He is horseshit. We're not letting him on. And then you got Costco over there. Yeah, let him on. Yeah, I like that guy. No.
I got a hoodie from his show.
You got a hoodie from the show? Dude, that's awesome. Thank God that the trio that's leading the way are fans of JP Peterson.
We love that.
That's all you need.
We love that, guys. And we're big fans of you, by the way. Have been for quite some time.
Yeah, that's awesome. Cubs, Matthew Boyd got on there, struggled. Shota Imanaga, oh my God. And listen, I'm going to give him a mulligan only because he's pitching, I don't think, at 100%. Ever since his leg injury midseason that he was covering first base and he ended up hurting, I think a quad hammy, I think it was. He went down for a little while, came back completely different. And he gave up the most home runs of any pitcher in the second half, 20 jacks. Now he's given up 3 homers already in 2 games. He's just not right. Yes, gave up a couple. And he's trying to pitch through all this crap. And,
so as we sit here right now, what you've seen already in all these games, we don't know how these going to feel, but you look at these teams, especially the ones that have been rested. Right. Seattle, you called Seattle 2 months ago.
I did.
You loved it. You would probably stick with them right now.
I'm sticking with them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no. I think they take care of business in Detroit, and they take that serious. I still
Seattle's and
Seattle's a complete team.
American League.
Yeah, they're a complete team. They might be even a little more complete than the Jays. But I do see a Seattle Jays American League Championship Series, and I think they've got a great amount of momentum. It'll be neat if it is those 2 teams. You're going to have, representatives in the World Series that we haven't, that haven't been there. Well, the Jays won back in the 90s. The Mariners haven't. So it would be kind of neat, and there's great storylines in both.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Kyle's flipping over to the NL real quick. Schwarber will be mad at me.
Schwarber's struggling, man.
Celebrity bartending,
he's struggling.
Brethren. It looks like the Dodgers are going to roll through there.
I think he's struggling. When you have Schwarber and Harper not hitting in the same series, you know, because listen, you always need the balance guy,
the yin and the yang coming.
You got to need the yang. So, for example, right now, Cal Raleigh is hitting. He's 4 for 9, but chinker base hits. You know, little cheapy base
bombs
hits,
are coming.
But they haven't come. But you know who's hitting now well is Julio Rodriguez.
Right.
So that's the counterpart guy that's doing some things. Same thing with the Jays. You know, pitch around Vlad Guerrero Jr., but then you've got Springer and you've got Santander. They've got counterparts right now. In the National League, it's going to be the Dodgers
and the Brewers.
The Brewers are a sneaky team.
Really good.
They're really good. Very good pen, exceptional pen. They should not beat the Dodgers.
So you got Dodgers. Seattle.
I got the Dodgers. The Dodgers are kind of syncing up. Yep. They've had this yin and yang season this year, but I'm telling you, predominantly has been of injury.
But their bullpen is still
no timeout. Take a little 20-second timeout. NBA season's about to start.
You
There's
told me
a
last week their
guy-
bullpen was
yeah,
no
but
good.
Things have changed in October.
Oh my
Hi, wakarimashita. Subarashi closer. Subarashi closer for the Dodgers. Atarashi, new, Roki Sasaki. Arigatou gozaimashita. Roki Sasaki has come out of the dirt of nowhere, crawled his way out through injury and not looking good as a starter to, you know what? He's being handed the ball to close out games. And he's closed out a couple
How about
already
that?
at 101, 102.
That'll
with
work.
a split and a slider for
That'll
your
work.
you know what?
Yeah,
And all of a sudden, they might have found themselves a short-term
yeah, but can he come
closer.
back time and time again?
That's going
With
to be
the travel
key.
days, though,
That's going to be the key because their
series get
bullpen,
longer.
other than
yeah.
that, sucks.
Yeah, right.
Because
Yeah.
China sucks.
So everybody get to the 8th, and then we'll figure it out.
They need Yamamoto, Snell. Get to the 7th or 8th,
7th,
and then hand the
close
ball.
out. All right.
Yeah, so I'm liking the Dodgers, and then they're hitting, their defense, they're savvy, I've been there, done that attitude. So if I have a pick, I'm gonna go Seattle and the Dodgers, which is kind of a West Coast kind of deal. I always like an East Coast team in the mix, but that's who I'm picking right now.
All right, partner. Phenomenal show. I think it's the best we've ever done. A lot of groundbreaking
good
stuff
stuff
with the Rays.
Hey, I'm going to say one thing.
new day
as
is
far
here.
as, and oh, by the way, for people to look out for. Okay. And this will be fun. When you're watching the Dodgers game, keep an eye on their center fielder, right fielder, all around fielder, because he's exceptional. Cuban-born guy, Pages, right? Pages. If he's on second base, I noticed that he tips the hitters when a fastball's coming. So he's able to figure out by looking at the pitcher. A lot of times pitchers, when you're on second base, if you're not
look in the
covering
glove,
your glove possibly,
Yeah.
and you're setting up your fastball, okay, or a split or something, they can see
See
it.
the grip. Yeah.
What you usually do on the bases is usually arms. The simplest way to do it is dropping an arm. So I noticed him when Teoscar Hernandez was up. The first pitch, he was kind of dropped his right arm, and it was a high fastball away that he took for a ball. And then, actually, I noticed it the batter before with Mookie, and Mookie ended up popping up a fastball. And then the second one, he dropped his hand, and another fastball came in, and Teoscar hit it for a 3-run home.
To the right center, yeah.
So just a little interesting, tips to watch in the game if Paje gets on there. That's actually okay. This isn't Houston
not
Astros.
stealing.
That's not stealing. It is tipping, is seeing stuff, but
That's
it's
fair
almost
game.
like giving a sign for the wheel play. It's the same thing. I'm going to give you a sign. So it's kind of a inside of baseball, a little old, by the way.
All right, big thanks to Texas Roadhouse Wesley Chapel. Comfort food at a comfortable price. Great place over there. Tell them Big O sent you. Kingmakers Tampa, great place to work and play. Go to kingmakerstampa.com. Get your private membership here before they are all gone. The Murphy Auto Group, especially Genesis of Tampa, our big weekend when there was fantastic. Go check out the cars. Are on special pricing right now. They are fantastic technology, comfort, everything. The Genesis is the best. So thanks to all of our sponsors. Thank you, Big O. Appreciate you. We will be back on Friday with Dante Bichette.
Show. And go Rays, man. What a great opening up of an exciting new trio of owners. And more, because there's a lot of other owners involved in there. But that trio was very impressive. Thank you very much for
lots of great people in Tampa Bay. We'll see you next time, because we always want you to stay
tranquilo y tropical.